There comes a time when you must stop asking the world for permission to focus on yourself. That time is now. You weren't born to drift. You were born to dominate. Prioritize your energy, your purpose, your mind. If you don't, the world will prioritize your distractions for you. Mental strength does not appear from wishing. It is built like steel, under pressure, by choice, through consistency. Choose yourself before this world convinces you to forget who you are. You want growth? Then stop wasting time explaining yourself to people who aren't even building themselves. Most people are addicted to staying the same and expect others to do the same. Don't get comfortable. Don't slow down. Prioritize your goals, your silence, your elevation. Learn to say no without guilt. That is power. You don't owe anyone your peace. You owe yourself everything you're capable of becoming. Cut the noise. Get rid of the weak habits. Break the toxic cycles. This is not about being better than anyone else. This is about being better than who you were yesterday. Success doesn't come to the scattered mind. It comes to the locked in, the obsessed, the ones who move with intention and discipline. If you want peace, then build the type of mind that can't be disturbed. That takes work. Prioritize that work. Every single day, you choose what type of person you are. Are you the one who just talks about discipline? Or are you the one who lives it when no one is watching? Mental strength is not motivation. It's not a quote. It's not hype. It is the unshakable ability to keep moving forward, no matter what's happening around you. That strength is built in the small decisions. Prioritize those. No one is coming to save you. That truth should light a fire in your soul, because once you realize your future is your responsibility, you gain real freedom. You don't need anyone's permission to grow. You need courage to choose growth when comfort is calling your name. You need backbone to walk alone. You need focus to drown out the noise. Prioritize your mission over their opinion. Do not wait for the right time. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. Build your mind before the world breaks it for you. Speak less, execute more. The strongest minds are not loud. They are disciplined. They are strategic. They are ruthless with their time. Cut out anything that feeds your weakness. Surround yourself with growth, or walk alone until growth finds you. You are not put here to remain the same. You are put here to evolve, to expand, to rise. But none of that happens by accident. It only happens when you make yourself the number one priority, not to escape life, but to master it. Prioritize yourself, not once, not when it's easy, every single day. Do it without compromise, and you will build a mind so strong nothing can break it. Self-priority is self-respect. Until you learn to put yourself first, the world will keep putting you last. You can't grow in an environment where your needs are ignored. Your time is wasted, and your energy is drained. Too many people sacrifice their peace to keep others comfortable, and in doing so, they bury their own potential. Stop doing that. You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. That is not humility. That is self-neglect disguised as kindness. And no one respects the person who constantly disrespects themselves. When you put everyone ahead of you, you teach them to expect it. You show them that your boundaries are flexible, your time is disposable, and your goals are optional. But they are not. You matter. Your vision matters. Your inner world matters. If you don't prioritize it, no one else will. The people who truly respect you will never ask you to shrink for their comfort. And if they do, they were never for you. The sooner you understand this, the quicker your mind becomes free. Prioritizing yourself isn't about arrogance. It's about alignment. It's about putting your time, your health, your focus, your energy into things that feed your purpose, fuel your discipline, and expand your strength. If that means saying no to invitations, to conversations, to distractions, so be it. If that means you walk alone, then you walk alone. Growth requires it. Mental strength is not found in pleasing everyone. It's found in standing tall when you know the world wants you to bend. How you treat yourself sets the standard for how others treat you. If you constantly say yes when you mean no, if you keep showing up for people who never show up for you, if you water dead relationships while your own roots are starving for nutrients, don't be surprised when you feel empty, angry, and drained. That isn't life. That's slow self-destruction, and it starts with forgetting your worth. When you forget your worth, everything around you collapses. Choosing yourself is not weakness. It's war. A war against the noise, the pressure, the opinions, the expectations, the fear of judgment, and the addiction to approval. The strongest people aren't the ones with the loudest voices. They're the ones who've learned to be silent with power. They're the ones who can sit with themselves, think clearly, act with precision, and protect their energy like it's gold, because it is. If you spend your best energy on things that don't build you, don't be shocked when you have nothing left for what matters. Start protecting your morning. Start protecting your focus. Start protecting your mental peace. Stop checking your phone first thing. Stop letting random opinions into your day. Stop responding to chaos like it deserves your attention. It doesn't. You were not built for constant noise. You were built for vision, for purpose, for execution. If you truly want to be mentally stronger, your first mission is to remove everything that weakens you, even if that means burning bridges, walking alone, or breaking cycles that have been with you for years. When you prioritize yourself, the world will call you selfish. Let them. They don't understand what you're building. They don't see your blueprint. You weren't born to be understood by everyone. You were born to rise, and rising demands separation, discipline, vision, hunger. You have to be willing to choose long-term growth over short-term approval. You have to be willing to be misunderstood, disliked, even mocked. Let that happen. That's part of the path. That's the price of power. Nobody hands you strength. You earn it through daily battles. You earn it by saying no when it's hard. You earn it by choosing the gym over gossip, by choosing silence over validation, by choosing focus over comfort. Every time you do, you level up. Every time you prioritize yourself, you reinforce a simple truth. You are responsible for your future, no one else. And the only way to build the future you want is to stop watering the past that drained you. Don't apologize for protecting your time. Don't explain your boundaries. Don't seek permission to grow. Make it clear that your growth is not up for debate, that your peace is non-negotiable, that your evolution is in motion and no one is allowed to interrupt that momentum. That is what it means to respect yourself. That is what it means to be mentally strong. It's not about how tough you talk. It's about how disciplined you live. If you want the world to take you seriously, take yourself seriously first. Show up for your goals like your life depends on it, because it does. This is not a rehearsal. This is it. And the truth is, most people will never do this work. Most people will choose comfort and call it peace. But you're not most people. You're here for more. So rise, lock in, prioritize yourself. Because that's the only way you'll ever grow into the person you were born to be. Guard your mind like a fortress, because everything you allow in will shape everything that comes out. Thoughts are the foundation of action, and if your foundation is weak, your entire structure will collapse under pressure. Every idea, every opinion, every voice you let into your space has power. And if you don't take control of that power, you will become a victim of your own environment. The strongest minds are not built by accident. They are engineered by intention. Every day, every hour, you are either building strength or letting it leak. You have to understand this. Not everyone deserves access to your mental space. You must stop letting the unqualified shape your mindset. Stop letting weak minds influence yours. Stop taking advice from people who haven't done the work. Stop letting negative people live rent-free in your head. Your mind is your headquarters. If the enemy controls it, they control everything. If fear gets in, focus breaks. If doubt gets in, action dies. If negativity gets in, your power shuts down. So lock it down. No more open doors for energy that doesn't serve your mission. Guarding your mind isn't a one-time act. It's a daily war. You must wake up with the awareness that something will try to shake you. Something will try to distract you, offend you, drain you, slow you. And your job is not to complain about it. It's to outfocus it. You don't rise by reacting. You rise by dominating the space between stimulus and response. Weak minds react. Strong minds process, then act with precision. That's the difference between surviving the day and owning the day. You cannot afford to feed your mind junk and expect strength. What you consume becomes what you believe. What you believe becomes how you behave, and how you behave becomes your life. So if you're feeding your mind with drama, gossip, fear-based media, and chaos from people with no vision, you are poisoning the very place your greatness is supposed to grow. Clean it up. You are not entertainment. You are not built for distractions. You are built for impact. Guard your input like your future depends on it, because it does. Most people are mentally fragile because they've never learned to say no to their environment. They blend in with their surroundings instead of mastering them. They go wherever the noise leads them. They let opinions form their identity. You can't do that. You must set a standard for your mental gait. You don't watch everything. You don't listen to everyone. You don't go everywhere. Not because you're better than anyone, but because you are building something too important to be interrupted by nonsense. You need clarity. You need silence. You need space to think, to build, to reflect, to sharpen your mind. If your environment is too loud for you to hear your own thoughts, you are not growing. You are being controlled. And that's how most people live. Loud world, silent purpose. Don't be one of them. Choose solitude when needed. Choose peace over popularity. Choose focus over noise. Protect your mental ecosystem like your life depends on it, because your future self is already counting on you to do it now. Understand this. Your mind believes what you tell it most. And if the loudest voice is negativity, comparison, doubt, and fear, then your actions will match that narrative. Rewire that. Speak like you're powerful, even when you feel weak. Think like a leader, even when no one's following yet. Program your mind with precision. Use affirmations. Use visualization. Use silence. Use faith. Use discipline. Make your mind your greatest weapon, not your biggest liability. But don't wait until life hits. You start now. Start today. You don't owe anyone access to your mind. Just because someone has your number doesn't mean they should have your energy. Just because someone has a title doesn't mean they have wisdom. Stop letting people project their limits onto your future. Stop allowing people with no vision to rewrite yours. Stop answering calls from chaos and then wondering why you feel out of sync. Guarding your mind also means removing access from anyone who consistently pollutes it. Let them go. Their presence isn't worth your potential. The mind you wake up with is the result of everything you allowed in the day before. So be intentional. Prime it with power in the morning. Don't start the day with opinions and noise. Start it with strategy, stillness, and strength. Read, meditate, visualize, move, do, whatever keeps your focus sharp. And when the world tries to push in, stay firm. Your discipline is the lock. Your awareness is the wall. Your standards are the gate. And your focus is the weapon. Stay guarded, stay grounded, stay great. You weren't born to be mentally average. You were born with the power to rewire your reality, but only if you protect the tool that builds it. You will never rise with a distracted mind. You will never lead with a confused spirit. You will never build anything worthwhile while soaking in negativity. Your environment might be chaotic. Your circumstances might be unstable, but your mind, that's your fortress. And as long as it's strong, you remain unshakable. Build that fortress, reinforce it, guard it with your life. Daily discipline equals mental power, and without it, your potential means nothing. Everyone wants to be mentally strong, but no one wants to show up when it's boring, hard, or invisible. That's the battlefield. That's where strength is born. Not in the spotlight, not in the comfort zone, but in the silent repetition of difficult choices. Mental power is not a gift. It's a result. A result of doing what you said you'd do long after the mood you set it in is gone. The mind becomes powerful and the body follows through. Every rep in the gym, every early morning, every cold shower, every hard conversation, every meal prepped, every hour of focus, that's not just discipline, that's mental warfare. Every time you do what needs to be done instead of what you feel like doing, you build dominance over yourself. And when you dominate yourself, nothing outside you can break you. Weakness lives in the gap between knowing and doing. Discipline closes that gap. You don't rise by motivation, you rise by routine. You rise by doing the same small, powerful thing over and over again until it becomes who you are. You can read every book, listen to every speech, write down every goal, but if your actions don't match, it's all fantasy. The world doesn't reward what you say you're going to do. It rewards what you prove through repetition. You don't get strong once. You build strength every single day through discipline that doesn't care how you feel. Discipline is not about extremes. It's about consistency. It's the decision to show up when no one is watching, to grind when there's no applause, to push when there's no finish line in sight. That's where most people fall. They're great when it's easy, when it's new, when it's exciting, but mental power comes from showing up when it's none of those things. It's forged in discomfort. It's refined in monotony. And it's proven in how you carry yourself when the results haven't arrived yet. Mental strength comes from delayed gratification, from sacrificing the short-term comfort for the long-term win. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you wire your brain for greatness. You build momentum, even when progress is invisible. You create structure when everything feels chaotic. That's real power, not loud emotions, not scattered motivation, but quiet, relentless execution. You want clarity? Then earn it by building structure. You want confidence? Then earn it by keeping promises to yourself. Discipline builds all of it. If you want to stop being mentally weak, stop breaking your own rules. Stop negotiating with your excuses. Stop waiting for the right time. There is no magic hour when things get easier. The only difference between now and your breakthrough is how consistently you execute. Your future self is watching every decision you make. What are you teaching it? That you fold under pressure? That you only act when you feel like it? Or that you're the kind of person who shows up no matter what? People say they want results, but they avoid the routine. They crave growth, but run from repetition. They seek confidence, but skip commitment. You cannot escape the process. You cannot buy your way around consistency. Success is rented, and the rent is due every single day in the form of discipline. Pay it. Pay it with your habits, with your time, with your sweat, with your silence. Show up whether it's easy or not. That's how you take the power back from your emotions, your doubts, your distractions. The reason you feel powerless isn't because you're incapable, it's because you're inconsistent. You're letting your feelings dictate your actions instead of letting your actions shape your reality. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It tells you what to do. It tells you to keep going, to push harder, to shut out the noise, to stick to the plan, even when your mind is screaming for comfort. And once you develop that level of command over your body, over your time, over your habits, you become dangerous. You want a strong mind? Start mastering the smallest parts of your day. Make your bed with intention. Train your body with fire. Eat with purpose. Study like your life depends on it. Speak like a leader. Think like a builder. Move like someone who is going somewhere. Mental strength isn't created in one massive leap. It's built in the thousands of micro decisions you make daily. Your power is already in you. Discipline is how you unlock it. Don't chase motivation. Motivation dies the second life punches you in the face. Discipline stands up, wipes the blood, and gets back to work. That's the difference. Discipline doesn't flinch. Discipline doesn't negotiate. Discipline doesn't complain. It just executes. Every day, especially when no one claps, especially when it's inconvenient, that's when power is built. That's when identity is forged. That's when you go from ordinary to elite. Your success doesn't belong to luck. It belongs to your habits. Your growth doesn't depend on who supports you. It depends on what you repeat. You don't become mentally strong by chance. You become mentally strong by discipline, over and over again, relentless, focused, unshakable. Show up like your life depends on it, because it does. Cut out the noise, because clarity doesn't live in chaos. Every second you spend absorbing distractions is a second stolen from your purpose. You're not overwhelmed because life is too hard. You're overwhelmed because you've allowed too much garbage into your mind. Useless opinions, fake urgency, meaningless content, empty conversations, they all eat away at your focus like rust on steel. You were never designed to handle a constant flood of outside voices. You were built to lead your own. But if you don't cut the noise, your mind becomes a battlefield, and the enemy is winning. Every notification is a thief. Every scroll is a leak. Every toxic voice you allow in your space becomes a parasite, draining your focus, draining your willpower, draining your identity. That's the price of staying plugged into the wrong sources. You forget who you are. You forget what matters. You forget where you're going. And that's how most people lose lowly, silently, through distraction, disguised as connection. You want power? Then silence the static. Power doesn't scream. Power listens, thinks, and acts with deadly clarity. You're not here to consume noise. You're here to create impact. But you cannot create anything meaningful with a cluttered mind. You can't build anything worthwhile while carrying the mental weight of other people's nonsense. Noise keeps you reactive. Noise keeps you emotional. Noise keeps you chasing things that don't matter. Cut it. Cut it without apology, cut it without permission, cut it without explanation, because your time is not disposable and your mind is not a dumping ground. You don't need to know what everyone's doing. You don't need to explain your silence. You don't need to chase the trends or argue with the ignorant. That's not your war. Your war is within. And it's won through focus, through intention, through discipline. Every time you choose silence over drama, clarity over chaos, and creation over consumption, you sharpen your weapon. The sharper your focus, the stronger your presence. People won't know what you're doing, but they'll feel the power when you walk in the room. That's what silence builds. Mental strength isn't loud. It's quiet. It's grounded. It's deliberate. And you can't develop it if your mind is being pulled in 10 directions every hour. You have to reclaim control. Shut off what weakens you. Unfollow, unsubscribe, uninstall, whatever it takes to clear the space. This is not about being antisocial. This is about being intentional. You are not missing out. You are leveling up. Let them keep scrolling. Let them keep talking. Let them keep running in circles. You're building something different, something real. Every great builder needs a blueprint, but if your mind is filled with noise, you can't hear the design. The path is there, but you have to go deep to see it. That depth doesn't come from surface-level chaos. It comes from solitude, from stillness, from quiet hours with no input but your own. That's when you hear the truth. That's when you feel your direction. That's when you reconnect to your source. But you can't reach that level if you're glued to the noise. Cut it. Respect your mind enough to protect it from pollution. You are not obligated to entertain distractions. You don't owe your attention to anything that doesn't serve your evolution. Attention is currency, and where you spend it determines what you build. Spend it on greatness or waste it on garbage, the choice is yours, but don't lie to yourself about the cost. Every second spent on noise is a second stolen from mastery. And every second stolen from mastery is a piece of your potential you'll never get back. Noise is addictive because it's easy. It keeps you stimulated but stagnant. You feel busy, but you're going nowhere. It numbs your instincts. It floods your mind with low-level urgency, but it never demands anything of you. That's why people stay there, because noise gives you an excuse to avoid doing the real work. But the ones who cut the noise, the builders, the warriors, the elite, they choose the silence because they know that's where their edge is, that's where transformation happens, that's where domination begins. Because noise gives you an excuse to avoid doing the real work. But the ones who cut the noise, the builders, the warriors, the elite, they choose the silence because they know that's where their edge is. That's where transformation happens. That's where domination begins. Cutting noise also means cutting people, not with hate, with clarity. If they don't align, they don't belong. If they drain, they're done. If they distract, they're dismissed. Protecting your peace is not rude, it's required. And if someone gets offended by your focus, they were never on your side. Let them go. Let them talk. Let them misinterpret your distance. Meanwhile, you stay locked in. You stay building. You stay quiet. And you let your results make the noise they can't ignore. Clarity is power. Focus is freedom. But you only earn those things when you have the courage to mute the noise and amplify your vision. Be ruthless with what you allow into your space. Be aggressive about filtering out anything that doesn't elevate your state. You don't rise by accident. You rise by subtraction. Eliminate what weakens you. Reduce what distracts you. Starve what confuses you. And build, build, build with tunnel vision until everything else fades. Focus is the engine of growth because without it, all your ambition is wasted motion. You can have the vision, the skill, the hunger, but if your mind is scattered, you will stay stuck. You don't grow by doing more. You grow by doing what matters most with absolute precision. You don't need more options. You need more clarity. You don't need to chase everything. You need to lock in on the one thing that moves the needle and hit it with full force. Focus is not about doing a lot. It's about doing the right thing over and over until the results scream. Growth doesn't come from noise. It comes from direction. If your attention is diluted, your power is fragmented. You can't be everywhere and expect to move forward. You can't say yes to every idea, every distraction, every demand, and still expect to grow. Every time you switch lanes, you lose momentum. Every time you get pulled into something irrelevant, you lose force. Focus is what turns effort into progress. It's what turns intention into impact. Without focus, you're not building. You're busy, and busyness is the enemy of growth. Real growth requires brutal clarity. You must decide what matters and eliminate what doesn't. That means cutting good things to chase great ones. That means ignoring side missions to conquer the main mission. That means turning down opportunities that don't align with your purpose. That means people will not understand. They will call you distant. They will call you obsessed. Let them. You are not here to explain. You are here to execute. The sharper your focus, the louder your results. Let those speak for you. Focus is discipline in action. It's the ability to say no to what doesn't move you forward. It's the mindset that says, I'm not wasting another second on what doesn't serve my future. Most people don't grow because they're addicted to distraction. They think multitasking is power. They think bouncing around is ambition. But all it does is drain your energy and scatter your fire. One powerful move done daily will always outperform 100 half-finished ideas. You grow when you go all in. Your growth is directly tied to what you obsess over. If you obsess over progress, you will grow. If you obsess over problems, you will stall. If you obsess over results, you'll burn out. But if you obsess over the process, over mastering your focus, over staying locked in, then your growth becomes inevitable. This world will throw everything at you to break your focus. Notifications, opinions, drama, trends, distractions dressed up as productivity. Ignore all of it. Your growth isn't out there. It's inside your focus. Keep it protected. If your mind is constantly switching gears, you're not driving, you're drifting. Drifting is what happens when you stop steering your time. Growth requires you to grab the wheel and drive with intensity. Every hour must be guarded. Every day must be planned. Every task must be tied to a purpose. You don't get to wander and win. You don't get to dabble and dominate. You must commit. You must lock in. You must shut out the noise, shrink the target, and hit it relentlessly until it breaks open. Growth is not magic. It's math. Focus times effort equals results. And if your focus is weak, your results will always stay small. It doesn't matter how hard you work if you're working on the wrong things. It doesn't matter how busy you are if your energy is going in 10 directions. You must align your actions with your outcome. You must wake up with intention. You must move with clarity. You must build with obsession. Anything less is sabotage. Your future deserves better. Most people never grow because they chase 10 things and catch none. They start everything and finish nothing. They stretch themselves thin and wonder why they feel powerless. You want strength? Then cut the clutter. Build narrow and deep, not wide and shallow. Master one lane before switching. Finish one goal before starting another. Dominate one skill before adding the next. You're not in a race to impress. You're in a war to improve. And in war, distraction is deadly. Focus also means blocking the wrong people. If they don't align with your vision, they're a distraction. If they bring chaos, they kill momentum. If they drain your energy, they kill growth. You're not heartless, you're focused. And focused people don't entertain confusion. You will not grow if you keep allowing people to pull your attention in weak directions. They can either get on board or get left behind. You are not available for mediocrity anymore. You are not available for energy leaks. You are locked in. Every time you say no to something meaningless, you're saying yes to your future. Every time you stay on task, you're building power. Every time you ignore the noise, the trends, the temptations, you're stacking mental muscle. Growth is not a feeling. It's a focus. Stay ruthless with your time. Stay loyal to your path. Stay obsessed with your vision. Don't look left. Don't look right. Don't explain. Don't slow down. Focus is the engine. Fuel it daily. And let your growth become undeniable. Decide who you want to be, or life will decide for you, and it won't be who you were meant to become. The world doesn't care about your potential. It only responds to your identity. You don't attract success by accident. You attract it by becoming someone who demands it. Most people are stuck not because they lack talent, but because they never made the decision to fully commit to a version of themselves that can't be denied. Every breakthrough starts with a choice. A real, ruthless, non-negotiable decision to become someone greater. You don't get to grow while staying the same. You don't get to rise while clinging to the old version of yourself. If you want to be powerful, you must first decide that power belongs to you, not tomorrow. Not when life is perfect. Now, you want to be disciplined? Then stop flirting with chaos. You want to be focused? Then stop dancing with distractions. You want to be respected? Then stop showing up like you don't respect yourself. You want to change your world? Then you must first change your identity. And identity begins where comfort ends. Nothing changes until you change the story you tell yourself about who you are. If you keep waking up thinking like the same person, you will keep living the same results. Growth is not just about habits. It's about identity. If you want to build something real, you have to become someone who doesn't quit. Someone who doesn't chase approval. Someone who doesn't fold under pressure. Someone who doesn't need validation to keep moving forward. Decide who that person is and then become them in every decision, every habit, every hour. You don't need permission to evolve. You don't need anyone to approve your transformation. Stop waiting for support. Stop waiting for signs. Stop waiting for the perfect timing. The decision is yours. You are either becoming the person you respect or you're becoming the person you tolerate. One leads to freedom, the other to frustration. One builds legacy, the other builds regret. Every moment you wait to decide is a moment you give your future away to fear, laziness, and indecision. Cut that. Choose power. Choose fire. Choose domination. Decide who you want to be and then show up like that person before the world ever believes it. You lead with identity, not outcome. You train like a champion before the trophies. You think like a winner before the win. You discipline yourself like a warrior before the war. That's how legends are made, not from results, but from self-definition. Results come later, but identity comes first. And if you never commit to a strong identity, life will shove you into weak ones. Be honest with yourself. Are you showing up as the person you say you want to become, or are you living in a gap between your dreams and your decisions? If your actions don't align with your future, you're lying to yourself. Don't say you want to be focused if you let distraction lead you. Don't say you want to be great if you can't control your habits. Don't say you want to build an empire if you still think like a spectator. Your destiny is not in your intentions, it's in your executions. Decide, and then back it up with action so loud no one ever doubts it again. The reason most people stay average is because they never truly commit to becoming someone above average. They dabble, they try, they hope, but they don't decide. And a half decision has the same result as no decision at all. If you want to separate, you have to elevate. And elevation requires identity. A new one. One that doesn't flinch under pressure. One that doesn't bend to feelings. One that doesn't settle for almost. That's who you need to become. And it starts with a decision no one else can make for you. Don't just set goals. Set standards. Standards that align with who you want to be, and then rise to meet them every day, no matter what. High standards don't come from motivation. They come from identity. When you've decided who you are, your actions follow. You don't negotiate with mediocrity. You don't justify weakness. You move like someone on a mission. You think like someone who refuses to be average. You wake up like someone who knows every second is a chance to become more. That's what the decision unlocks. So who are you going to be? Not who do you want to be. Who are you willing to become through work, through sacrifice, through consistency, through silence, through fire? The version of you who wakes up before the world to train. The version of you who says no to weakness. The version of you who doesn't need praise to stay locked in. That version is not a fantasy. It's way